So I got two of these ESP 32s. The one we just flashed. This we had difficulties with that one. But this guy here, he flashed all right. We'll hook it up real quick, just show you proof of operation. We'll start with our plug-in. This just gives it some power. Okay. See, and it connects. You see like a little blue light flashing too. You might be able to see that. Means it's on and it's got power. And then we will hook up our power coming in over here. You have to excuse the noises upstairs. Mama is playing with the dogs and the baby. So anyway, turn on our power supply. Adjust our voltage here to 12 volts. All right, now we got 12 volts going into the lights. We got 5 volts going into the ESP. So when we plug this in, fix this power real quick again. This is just to test. Kind of saw those lights go on there. So I'll plug it in here. All right, and we're on. Now, provided this is still connected to the same IP address as yesterday, we should be able to go into WLED and change this to whatever color we so choose. But as you can see, only to about here is being lit up, and we want the rest of them. So let's go in there and fix that real quick. We'll go into the configure, and we'll go into the LED preferences. And see here how it says total count. Let's see, we'll zoom in a little bit there. Total count 30 right here. So what we want to do is we want to select the lights we have. We have WS28.X and it's on GPIO 2, which we will get into here in a little bit. And we are going to change this length from 30 LEDs to 300 because this is a 300 LED strip. So we don't want to skip the first one. We want to hit go, and as soon as we hit go, all of these lights come on. Okay, but you see how dim they are. I'm using WS2815 bulbs, and there is a special feature right in here because we are using WS2815 12 milliamp bulbs. So when I select that and I go to hit save, the lights now are brighter. Now if we go back in, now we can do all kinds of special effects. And we can change the root colors. Basically whatever we want. We can pick a couple different colors if we want to. And then we can have the effects bounce off of that. This is all through WLED. Little fireworks. You can change all the variants in it. All right. So That's this board. Run it through my little breadboard so we can just test it. It's just a test. We're getting ready to solder onto, not that one. She wants a black board, so we're going to blue board. Let's get this settled around here. And it's pretty cool what it does, isn't it? Let me find the board that she's gonna get.
She wants the black one.
Gonna need some of these guys. There's the board right there. Okay. Haha. I actually had it up under there. Okay, so this is the top side. And so you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and then this board is labeled 1. Right? 1 through 36, I believe this board is. Or 30. This is a 30-pin board. And then on the back of it, you can see these rows are all connected. So it makes it easy. We put a pin in. And if it touches any of these, we can just go to this next one out. And that's where we pick up our signal from. Okay? So, all right, get ready. Here we go. First, let's stop our show. We'll do it all the way through WLED. So we'll turn it off right through there. Now we can safely disconnect everything. Okay, power off there. Once the power's off there. Now we're completely disconnected. Here's our string of lights. This will go in my daughter's room.
Which is 15. And it's right next
And then
to here.
this, we'll just take the chip off. Nice and gentle like. Out of our test board. We'll just put our test board away for future reference if we want to look at it later on. And then we'll set our board oriented on the pinout kit. I always start pin number 1 up here at the top, and B and I. See right there in B and I. That way pin number 19 is your power going in on the left hand side. Pin number 15 is pin number 2 as far as your GPIO pin. Number 2, that's your data pin. And then you have a ground pin on, I think it is 14 on the left hand side. But we just check the chart and it corresponds to it too. The ESP32s, they have multiple output pins. So I know that you can use pin 2, pin 4, possibly pin 5. There's all kinds of pin outs, and it'll be in the WLED. You just got to go in there and look and see what pins they have available for them, and I think you can get up to 8 pins. Anyway, so we are about to turn on our rework machine. We want to go on the solder side. We don't need exactly 700 degrees, but I like 700 degrees because it doesn't get too awful hot. But we'll take it down to 690 today. And the first thing that I'll do is pull out my soap dish, which will hold this at the end. All this will go in the soap dish and be inside to kind of protect it. But in the meantime, the soap dish also does a good job of holding things up out the way, so I can get my first little bit of solder on there. So first thing I want to do is take some flux and just kind of put some flux right all up on the pins. Both sides.
Where is that?
Flux. Flux allows the solder to flow, and flux also cleans the metal joints. It gets some of the oxygen out so the solder can do a better job of sticking and holding. It's a very good question, Bella. So we just want to solder a couple pins on there.
Ooh.
We want to make sure that we have a nice clean tin iron. See how clean this iron is?
That's scary.
I know. And we want to do one pin at a time. Now it's not important that you solder every pin to the board, but you want to solder enough pins on there that you want your power and your grounds, and you want your GPIO pins obviously soldered to the spreadboard itself. But the more contact area that you get between your ESP and the board, just the more solid it's going to be, the more stable it's going to be. We have a lot more stuff that's going to go on this board, so this is just the beginning of a lot of soldering. But I usually put this thing up in the air. That way I can get, a nice flat. If you look, it's nice and flat up on there. And then from there we can go down to our paper, and then we can solder a little bit slowly. I have a magnifying glass on the way. It's not here yet, so in the meantime, we just do it this way.
That's scary.
I know.
Very scary.
You're in my light, my dear. Which means I can't see when your head gets in the way. So far, so good. I'll probably blow all this in too with the rework gun here afterwards, just to make sure I got good. looks pretty good. I'll hit it with the hot air real quick just to kind of smooth everything out. Got this hot air rework station off of eBay or not eBay, Amazon. It's around 140 bucks, I think, or so. Alright, that's good and hot. Okay, that's still not too bad. While that's cooling off, we'll go ahead and prep our soap dish. Basically, just want a couple wires in. I have some power wires coming in, just on one side, power in, and then the wires going out. So. I'll just use the standard, what's the standard drill bit? Let's see, I'll call that a fail. I'll do a rewind on the other side. It sounded like it broke through in a non-happy way. Oh, definitely did. Well, okay, this is the first time that I've done it this way. Will be the last. Yeah, that sucked. But these are dollar store soap bought dishes, so until I start making cases for these, I guess I'll just have to either burn it the way I did last time or break it with a drill bit, which does not sound fun either. We don't want these edges to be jagged because we don't want to rub on the wires. It sucks, but it doesn't suck entirely bad. Either way. Alright, we're still nice and cool. Yeah, I mean it's kinda warm. We're ready for the next bit of it. I need to put a couple of these things in. So 3 of them. So we have bottom, we have a power, ground, and the data signal, obviously. So, in the interest of consistency, we'll put the negative, and there's little holes right here. So we want the screw holes facing out too. So before you do that, make sure you do that. Okay. And then now that they're in there, I'll go ahead and add a little bit of flux to the these guys. There we go. Gotta get that first one in there. Makes it easier for the other ones. Turn that temperature up just a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot better. And in the interest of consistency, so we got positive one side, you want to put the negative on the other side, right? So this board's going to sit in here. Yeah, I can put it. Oh, okay. Again, there's a result. Anyway, we'll put the positive right here. As long as I know which ones they are, and I do. A little dabble D. Hitting those three now. Go. Get a nice little line going on there. That way I have all three inputs good and tied down on there. Now, so these center pieces here, they will link the positive and negative side as annotated on this side here. So you have positive and negative, and then this side here you have positive on the inside and negative on the outside. So positive is on the inside track, which is this inside track, and then negative is on the outside track. So if I want to connect anything positive or negative over on this side of the board, I have to connect these two jumpers, or else power doesn't get transferred to that side. So being that we have both power and ground coming in on this one side over here, it probably would have been smarter to put power and ground on that side in the beginning, but I like it this way because, well, I just like it this way. So we will put our third and final data pin connection in, and I'm going to put it in right here, and that will give me 3 pinouts on pins 21, 23, and 25 on the board, and then I will just connect the bottom side to whatever GPIO pin that I need to connect to. And the same for power and ground. If I need to power and ground, I'll just drag it from the breadboard over to the positive or the negative side depending upon what I need. So let me tack these guys in real quick after I throw my solder. I love you too, baby. That's right. You're the other one shushing. Positive on the inside. So I'm going to paint this guy red. The baby's here to inspect the work. Am I doing a good job, baby? Oh, you just wanted that chair. I see. This makes it easier when you connect the positives and negatives to the actual board itself. Grab a couple of breadboard wires, connect the pins. So what we got left to do now is to connect all of our pins. This will be the output. One more in too, because we share ground, but this is going to be 5 volts in, and I need to get 12 volts in too for the lights, so this kind of something to connect to as well. Just have it hang out down here on 130. That way I have just this one little section to use, and I can just use this for the 12 12 volts in and 12 volts out to the lights. And just do it like that. Keep it simple. So you make your own boards as long as it makes sense to you. That's what makes it DIY. Where's the gap? Just throw a piece of wire in there. Be sure for sure then. Get a couple wire colors here. We'll use the green. For our data wire. Got all kinds of stuff to say today. He's got all kinds of stuff to say today, doesn't he? Do a quick test here of the board here in a minute. So I need to paint this red too. Just so I know that this is, power. Doesn't need to be as red. Okay, time to do our wiring hookup. And we'll do the data wire first. So we are going to go to pin number 15. Here on the back side, I mean, I know that it's all right here. GPIO2, it's right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is pin number 15. We go to the back side. We would go to pin number 15 on the back side. Should be on 25. I keep saying 25. I mean 15. And yes, it's on 15. So 15, and I want to take the 15 to, let's see, this first pin right here. Paint's still drying a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go right here to this first one right here, because that's what makes me happy. Get a little soldering flux on the guy. 10 on the 10 of this stuff makes it so much easier. Shoot them on my end one there. Now I have 2 more connections to go, and we are finished with the wiring. We have our 5-volt that we just take from pin number 19 at the bottom. Okay, so we'll take pin number 19 at the bottom, and we'll just drag it to positive, which is on the outside of this board. So what I'll do is from the end, which is on 19, right down here at this bottom. Okay, this is 19. We'll put a little flux on this guy right there, and then we're going to drag it over to this outside right into here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll chin our stuff up. We'll make a nice little landing spot for that wire right there. Extra solder on that guy and get it ready. Now the wire that we're putting in right now is the That's the positive wire. We don't need to use a color, but in the interest of consistency, I will use a light color, something that will show. Oh, I got some right here. Just use this orange guy. Okay. Orange will work. Pin 19 down here in the bottom. Oh. Did I do it? Pull too hard? Yes, it did. Okay. So I'm going to just prepare the next wire because I just buggered up. Okay. So get a wire on it right there. Strange it didn't say that first time, but you know. Such as things. Should be able to live with that. And now I gotta go up to 5 up to the ground here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up is pin number 14. Okay. So we'll come back and we will use negative on this side is, yeah, it's just straight over, so I don't even need to use, I just use a regular wire all the way across it. So 14, 6. almost done. Just got one last one to do here. Let's look at it, make sure it's okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, I'm on the 6th one. Everything looks decent. Alright, I gotta test it out now. Go ahead and retain this for the next time we use it. Let's turn our power on. We will start with our ground, or just make sure we don't have any bad power. I'll turn it actually down to the 5 volts that we're supposed to have. We don't want it to beep fast. Beeping fast means that we have a short. So this is this is what happens if there's a short. Okay. So it doesn't blow anything up, it just doesn't power stuff on. Okay, so our ground is our common, and here is our 12 volts out to the lights. So that's not grounding, shorting out, I mean. And let's see if we can power on the ESP now. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we have a board that will power up and will work just fine. I'm going to hit this one last little tab because, that'll be the one that I use. Oh yeah. As soon as it heats back up. And then we'll put this thing in a soap dish and call it a day. Do want to make sure all this is good to go though, sure. There you go, good, nice. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Looks good. One more test, make sure that we're good to go. That was the one that we just tested it on. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. Anyway, here we go again, showing that we have good connectivity. Let's do the wire. Okay, so we have positive, negative, and a data. So this is our positive. Let's give him a little tug. And we went GPIO first one here on number 2. So screw that in. And yeah, I should probably just run my, yeah, I know. Probably should have put this ground wire or another ground plug on the other side. I mean, I could always just plop it in on this ground, and I might do that too, just to save it a whole bunch of travel. I'll do that. I'll just throw it on the ground side here. As long as it shares the ground, it's fine. Let's see here. We'll grab it right there, right beside the ground. So the ground and the ESP module have to use the same ground, or else you will short the guy out. So that should be ready to go to my 12 volts. I just have to put 12 volts in right here, the ground right there, and then 5 volts in right here, a ground right there, and we are ready to rock and roll. Can we test it real quick? Of course we can test it real quick. We've already tested to make sure that we have our ground signal, so I will go ahead and hook this thing up. This is auxiliary power just in case. Ooh, does it fit? Yes, it fits. We're not going to run off this. This is just to test the lights. Okay, so I will crank this guy up to 12 volts, and we will let our power come in. Right. This is our ground. I'm saying power. Silly. So our ground coming in. Let's go ahead and connect our wire up now. Nothing will happen until we apply 12 volts to our 12 volts. Yes, to this or to this page, or this pig right here, which we are fixing to do right about now. Okay, so here's our lights. All right, there we go. All right. Here's our WLED loading up again. And here's our blue lights. Green lights. And now we're ready to hook up into our soap dish. I have some, yeah, my little positive wires there. Connection issue, but we're all good. All right. From here, we have our power going in, and that's going to be in a different video, but this guy here will now sit inside. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. So dish light. Take care, everyone.